and forcing their hands, because people power does work. We've seen that with the victory over them going for our forests to privatise them. We saw it when the pensioners came out. And the previous generation, somebody said people don't protest, or for years they haven't protested. The previous generation got out on March when they were paying 70 pence in the pound, and they won for us all of the things that my generation enjoyed: free education, healthcare. And now they want to roll it back with a two-tier health system. They want a two-tier education system. Only the rich and the privileged will be able to go to, and that's their gateway into the higher paying jobs, and keep the rest of us down. Roll back on all the social gains that were fought for, hard won, because they give us nothing. We fight for it. But what I will say is, we have to get out when they come back. The cheek of bloody Noonan to warn us that there's another harsh budget on the way for us. How dare he, after what's come out? It is not our debt. They are not getting another cent out of us. And we want the bankers jailed. And the only way we'll do it is to organise as they are. They're at the top, the golden circle, all hand in glove, politicians, bankers, speculators, financiers, all hand in glove. Nice little cabal, getting the ear of the government, getting their way, getting what they want. But the one thing we have that they don't have is bloody numbers. And we can terrify the bejesus out of them if we get out in the numbers that we have seen across Europe. You look at how inspiring it is to see people rise up, stand up and be counted. So like someone said earlier, don't just come to this march, vent your anger. Go and talk to even one other person and convince them that together we can take them down and we can assert ourselves onto the political stage and roll back on all the cuts and the pain and the misery that has been forced on us by a greedy share of bastards.
What do we want? What do we want? What do we want? What do we want? When I say Trump, you say jail. Trump. Jail. Trump. Jail. When I say Trump, you say jail. Trump. Jail. Trump. Jail. Trump. When I say Trump, you say jail. Trump. Jail. Trump. Jail. When I say Trump, you say jail. Trump. Jail. Trump. Jail. Trump. Jail. Right, Luke Flanagan wants to say a few words as well.
The first thing I gotta say is, don't wait for people inside to solve your problems. The only people who are going to solve it is the people out here. And we have, in the words of my favourite band, Rage Against the Machine, it's time to take the power back. When the banks were making massive profits, anyone who suggested that that money should go to the people were put down as lunatics. Then when the banks started losing a fortune, you were put down as a lunatic if you said you shouldn't pay their debt. And that is the reason why we're in the hole we're in now. The government solution is to try and divide the country people, the culchies, from the townies and the city people. Don't let them do that. Another tactic is to divide the civil service and the private workers. Don't let them do that, because if you do, they will succeed. Richard said to come here on September the 18th, and that needs to be done, because you've got to show them in numbers, and if you have the numbers, excuse my language, you will terrify the shite out of them. I'm not much into political dynasties, but I have to apologise. I actually come from one a long time ago. A great man called Father Michael O'Flanagan was one of the first people, in fact he was the first man ever to speak in the Dáil. And I'm not going to say a lot here, but I'm going to give you his words and learn from it. He said, you have been lied to for too long. He said, you have been quiet for too long. It's time to rise up. Don't leave it in the hands of the politicians. In May of to cut the spokes on the political bicycle wheels. There is a local election. Don't wait for them to do it. Do it yourselves. Take over the council. Take over this country and take the power back. Thank you very much.
What do we want? 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 What do we want?
Well, we're here today. It's at the kind of end of the protest here, outside on Dáil Éireann for the Jail the Bankers protest. And in my opinion, it's great to see everyone coming together and realising that the people at the top, the elites in the banking sector, were laughing and were abusing their power, as all politicians and all bankers do. And I am very happy that we were proven right that our protest on Dame Street was the right thing to do, that we weren't wasting our time, that somehow people would come along and think that these bankers were somehow moral individuals. And the opposite has been shown to be true now, that they are anything but moral, and that they were laughing at the Irish people while robbing billions and billions of euros of their money. So I'm glad to be here, and I think it's time for change, and hopefully we can get one day maybe 500,000 people on the streets of Dublin, like we've seen in Egypt with millions on the streets, to change things. Because that's the only way things are going to change. Garmagov.
And the problem with Ireland at the moment is, when activists try to react to situations, political parties try to come in, set up stages with microphones and take over. The true reality of the situation is that the people in Ireland stood up against the household charge. Everybody all over Ireland in different groups stood up, and they were led down the garden path by political parties who took money from community groups all over the country and created problems. The political parties are just as bad. The opposition parties are just as bad as those in power. They'll take your money too. Today we stand here. The Socialist Party would like to believe that we're all sheep to them, but you know and I know we're not. The real problem with Ireland is that a lot of people on Facebook are active and they'll say, yes, I support your cause. Where are those people today? The problem is, the way Ireland is running at the moment, unless we, the activists of Ireland, change things, in 5 years, 10 years' time, we'll be standing outside the Dáil protesting against Sinn Féin, the Socialist Party, the SWP, and so on. And you know what? Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael will be there with their microphones. Yes. We, the people, will not be duped any longer. These are our streets. This is our goal. They're supposed to represent what the people feel, and yet they represent what they feel. They protect their pay packets at all costs. We people, we need to stand here. We need to agree before we leave here that we will go to the homes of these bankers, and we will keep going back until these people are charged.